Welcome everybody to Legends of the Yak on this fine, what is it, a Wednesday evening, eh? Wednesday evening here at the Schloms Ski Boat Club. On my left here, your right, we have this fine gentleman, Mr. Carl Schloms, eh? Schloms. What nationality is that? German, Hungarian?
Yeah,
German.
it's got a bit of German in it. So,
Schneller. It's coming.
Yeah.
You watch those on movies, eh?
No.
Okay. He doesn't. But anyway, Legends of the Yak, we're back. This is a fine legend, this man. Carlos, how long have you been fishing on a kayak?
Probably since about 1995. Yeah, I was trying to work it out before, and yeah, I lived in Schloms.
Nearly 30 years, eh? Next year that'll be 30 years you've been fishing on a kayak.
No,
that's actually longer than some oaks are old enough that are fishing on the kayak. The younger generation in their 20s weren't even born when you were fishing on a kayak.
Yeah.
And you started fishing with who? Just on your own?
So I bought a ski from Richard Hillier.
Oh yeah,
if you know,
plumber, Richard Hillier,
yeah. So Richard made he had three skis that he made, like three original skis.
Yes.
That he designed, and I think
it had like a snitchy nose on it. There was no guts in the ski at all.
No, nothing. The whole ski
it was empty.
Yeah. The ski was the hatch.
Yeah.
And
it looked like a small fishing kayak, basically. I mean, sorry, a small surf ski. That's really what it looked like.
So
it had like a funny nose, and
he also made that one that had that sort of cone, that not cone, like a nose, but I think the one that I got was what Eric's took from him
to make
that he sold.
So the original Eric's.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, he was an engineering guy, wasn't he?
He was still.
So now, if for the people out there don't know, we're literally going back to the start of kayak fishing in South Africa.
Yeah.
It is. Those were the first kayaks that were ever made. That one I'm talking about which had no foam, no hatch, no nothing, and someone sunk. I remember someone sinking in a Schlonger barge and had no flotation, and they went down to the bottom and you had to swim back in. but these were like the original fishing kayaks. So this is like the beginning, eh?
Yeah. No, it was.
So you feel a little bit old now, not really?
I do. And funny enough, when I got that, I didn't use it that much, and I still remember being at Schloms the one day, and I just went there and I said, no, I want to do this. And I just took it just to punch waves and see what I could do, and I realized, hey, I can do this and get out here. And first time I actually launched fishing, I got a cuda, and a big whale shark swam underneath me. It was crystal clean. There wasn't a single boat there. It
hasn't been crystal clean in Schloms since then.
I know. And big whale shark swam underneath me, and I was like, hey, what's this? And I actually got my cuda and I came in, I could have carried on like nowadays, or you don't stop.
No, you don't stop.
And I was just stoked to get a cuda.
Okay. I mean, what made you start? I mean, come on, were you working in the fishing game at the time?
No, not at the time. So
you finished school, or where were you?
So you know what actually happened? We used to go on holiday. My parents used to take us on holiday to Scottsboro every year. July school holidays, we'd go with the sardine run and all that.
Caravan park there.
Yeah, that's where we stayed, Caravan Park. And nobody in my family fished, and I started hand lining in the rock pools and all that nonsense. And then the one day,
that was the end of that.
And then the one day I sat at the main rocks there, where the pool is, and I watched the lifeguards on rescue craft.
Which probably, to be honest, probably would have been Mickey Sadler, which is my friend Russell Sadler's dad. Those are the original photos of guys fishing on rescue craft with all those fish. I'm sure you've seen it. And Trevor McAlpine.
Yeah.
And there was another guy who passed away recently. Those were the lifeguards. They had nothing else to do.
Yeah.
They'd take their life-saving rescue craft and go fishing. So I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
So I sat on that point watching this, and I mean, when they were close to the point, you could just see rods bucking. And I was like, whoa!
And you were catching things in the rock pools.
Yeah, we were catching quarantine, and I think that's got me going.
I can
from
do
there.
this.
Yeah.
You say you went.
But I was a latte then.
Yeah. And then you just
It just
out of school, straight into the professional kayak fisherman.
pretty much. No, not really.
But you worked at the original Basil Manning, if I'm not
I worked at
mistaken.
Gone Fishing, yeah.
Gone
so
Fishing.
I took over from Brad. When Brad left, I took over from Brad.
The Basil Manning and Point Road? No.
No, never. No, Gateway.
Okay, Gateway. Oh, yes, okay, yeah. Gateway one. Okay.
And that's probably the most memorable, best days of my life. I mean, we'd open at 10 o'clock in the morning.
So you'd fish every morning?
Every morning, like fishing.
Yeah.
And then you could choose if you, I think some weekends you closed later, so you could come in later.
Yeah, because it was a mall was 7 days, so it was open 7 days.
Those days was, I don't know, the tuna were just always there. We were just.
Is that the 4-0 day? 4-0 tuna to Brad?
Yeah,
that one.
No, that was more or less that time.
Let's ask this question. How did you meet Brad?
I think, through.
On the water?
On the water. Brad was actually probably one of the most painful oaks you can ever meet on the water. He had this
Brad?
No, Brad. The
Never.
Brad.
The bad Brad.
So Brad he had this red plastic.
A perception swing.
Is that what it was?
Yep, it's called a perception swing. It's a plastic kayak. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. So Brad used to paddle, and he would come up to you, and then you would like try to turn away a bit. Brad would turn with you.
So it's like one of those oaks when you're fishing, they're irritating. They're like in your
like a remora. You're like this is
like a remora. It's like a bad smell. Won't go away.
Yeah,
I can imagine.
Yeah.
Because he's not competitive when he fishes, so he doesn't want you to catch.
No, nothing like that. No. He just fishes for the joy of it.
Enjoyment. Back in the day.
Yeah. No. So Brad was a cool bloke. But I remember the one day, and I'm getting him back for that tuna story that he told about me. He was paddling next to me, and I threw the spoon ahead of me, and had 2 rods out, and one rod went, and I quickly wound the spoon, and I went on with the
triple up
now. So I said to Brad, I'm triple up, and he was like, oh, just wind him in, and he.
So he had a proper.
He was grumpy. Yeah.
That's not the reason why we used to call him Ski the Real Screamer, does it?
The Real Screamer.
You remember the Real Screamer?
Yes.
The name of his boat, the Real Screamer. We weren't sure if it was the name of his boat or something to do with.
Yeah, we were never sure.
Yeah, we weren't sure.
Yeah, but he got ripped for it.
Yeah, he did. So, like I say, 29 years of kayak fishing. Is there a fish that stands out in your memory? Or a time on the water, maybe that you caught a fish, or you don't have to have kept it, maybe you released it, but is there something that sticks in your mind? It's like, that was a day.
So I think one of the fish that sticks out properly to me was, back then we never used to catch big tuna.
Yes.
You'd get 10 kilo tuna, 8 kilo tuna, there were all those small fish,
I mean, to be honest, you guys would probably fish for 10 or 15 minutes for the tuna, because everyone thought if you didn't pull a lure at first light, don't fish for a tuna.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yeah.
So
I used to fish quite a lot at Salmon Bay, but when the wreck was further out, just
before that massive storm and it moved the wreck.
Yes, okay. Yeah. So I used to fish quite a lot there, and funny enough, I used to catch a lot of kudu there.
Okay.
And nobody fished really, and fished differently too. I used to pull wallers around that wreck, and I used to catch.
Pull around Salmon Bay.
Yeah. You got a live bait, and here you are pulling wallers.
Dead waller.
And I get it. It was strange. And the one day I had a live shad, and I got a 32 kilo tuna, and that was like.
But that's a bomber tuna.
Yeah.
On a waller.
No. on the shad.
On the shad, yeah.
Yeah. So it was just back then there was. It didn't fit in the hatch because it was still that original.
The first skis we've talked about. The first skis, the hatch entrance was flipping narrow, but and anything that was half decent didn't get in there.
Yeah. So it didn't fit in the hatch, and I had to strap it to the front, and the shore break was massive, and the boat was rolling up and down the shore break with the
Salmon Bay shore break just said, "Let's see what we can do."
Yeah. So that probably stands out quite heavily. I mean, I've caught some bigger fish, but that was just at the time that was one of the proper ones.
I think everybody has a fish or a time that maybe sticks in their head.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting fact, yeah. How many times have you been to Mozambique?
Never
been to Mozambique. So that destroys your favorite place to fish.
Yeah.
Because you can't say Pandan, you can't say Mozambique,
Yeah.
because you haven't been.
Yeah. Look, and even Vidal, I haven't really fished Vidal that much either. I have fished Vidal, but I love it. I love Vidal.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Vidal's really cool. I have fished Sudwana too. Paddled Sudwana, not really successfully. I haven't really.
But I mean,
plodded
okay,
along
so if you sit here, my favorite place to fish.
probably Zinkwazi.
Yeah, I would have said you would have said
Yeah.
Zinkwazi.
Yeah.
You fished
Yeah.
there. You know
Yeah,
that place
I love
backwards.
that
You don't even
place,
need a
yeah.
fish finder. You just know
Yeah.
where to go.
Yeah, no, it's funny enough. You know, who introduced me to Zinkwazi was actually Rob.
Rob
Rob
Waits.
was the. I've always been this local, you know, Mshloti,
Yeah,
West.
clearly. I mean, you haven't been to Mars. You haven't but because you stick to your local spot. But maybe that's more about a lot of the stuff we've talked about. Is instead of trying to fish 25 different places and not really knowing, it's learning to understand the spot that you're fishing.
Yeah.
I might be incorrect here, but I remember when we used to fish from Schlotti a lot, and you and Rob, especially you, had your go-to spot off the river mouth from Schlotti.
Yeah.
And you used to get your big cooler there.
Yeah.
And you spent hours there, but you were there in the morning or you were there in the afternoon, and
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. It's the
Yeah.
sometimes people make that mistake in kayak fishing, where they, I'm going to fish there because he fishes there, and he fishes there, and he fishes there. But how well do you know that spot?
Yeah.
Sometimes spending the time to know the spot. Am I right?
100%, because that exact spot you're talking about in Mshloti River Mouth, I'll still go there today, and there's still the same tower, it's still the same left side of the house that I line up, and on the left, the other side that I line
The
up.
old GPS, eh? The eyeball
yeah.
GPS.
Yeah, and that spot, gee, it worked for the big kuda too.
Yeah.
We got some lovely fish.
And you still
there.
get fish there today. Maybe not the big ones,
Yeah.
but you still get fish there.
Yeah, I just haven't really targeted that much. I don't know. I just find in the last few years, sharks have just really Mshloti. You just I don't know if you land those big ones
Yeah,
anymore.
the sharks would come visiting quickly.
Yeah, it's really got bad. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah. So you Zinkwazi. Okay, you know Zinkwazi well. I've seen you fish a few times. I'm probably one of the oaks who fished Zinkwazi probably less than what my hand. Yeah, but that's just like I say, it is. But if you were starting out kayak fishing today, and if you could draw on one bit of advice that you've learned, what would that be? So what I'm trying to say is, like, let's say I've never fished. That one bit of advice from almost 30 years of kayak fishing that you can give me, what would it be?
Jeez.
Tough one, but it's
Yeah. I think just try different things. Just vary what you're doing. Don't always stick to the same thing. Just with like with kuda fishing, just slow your speeds down, go faster.
that's your
go
favorite
slow.
fishing, isn't it?
Yes, definitely. Yeah. So it's a hard question.
Because it's
But-
maybe a little bit of a general question. So
Yeah.
I should rather say to you, what is your favorite type of fishing? What fish did you love to target the most?
Yeah, kuda.
A kuda,
yeah,
eh?
definitely.
Without a
kuda.
doubt.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, kuda is.
And I might be incorrect, but I think Rob and Adam said that you still haven't caught a fish over 30.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
29 years of kayak
Yeah.
fishing.
Yeah.
Still haven't got a fish over 30, and probably the guys fished hardest for them. And that just goes to show what we've talked about. Like some
Yeah.
people say, oh, he's got a fish over 30. Like people don't realize it's a freaking quality fish.
I know, it's
You know,
big.
and it's not easy to
Yeah.
get.
I will get it at
How many of you got under
point.
30 though? Like,
Yeah,
I mean,
I
like when I
know,
say under,
yeah.
I'm talking in the 28 to 30 kilo range.
Yeah.
You must have
Plenty.
a dozen.
Yeah.
A dozen.
Well, I'll tell
What's
you,
the closest?
Well, I'll tell you what actually happened. Seabell the one day, I got this fish, and it probably took 50 meters of line, and it sat under my boat like a tuna, just nodding and just
Yeah.
could not lift this fish. Then she just popped up, gaffed it, big kuda. I thought, oh, that's the fish.
That's the
You know,
30
that's
kilo
him.
fish.
On the beach, weighed it. Marcus weighed it for me.
Marcus weighed it.
Marcus weighed it for me on his scale,
Yeah,
clock face Salter scale,
yeah.
30 kilos.
On the dot,
30
30.0.
kilos on the dot, yeah, on
Yeah.
the dot. Stupid Carl
You went to re-weight it.
went home and reweighed it on the digital scale at
Yeah.
29.
Oh, 29.9.
No, it was 29.
No, just 29. This is honest.
Yeah, it was, yeah. So, yeah, I should have just stuck with that.
You should have just
The
stuck with a 30.
original, Yeah.
But you didn't have a camera back in that. You could have taken a photo of it.
Yeah. Funny enough, the Park Sport were there when I beached. They wanted to take photos of me holding the fish, and I was like,
You were like, hold on, guys, I don't even have a fishing license.
Yeah. So I lifted it up and I hid
Did they check
behind
your
it,
ski for crayfish as well?
Yeah, no, I'm a good boy.
Are you a good boy? Well done.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we were talking about it early on. So an interesting fact that not many people out there may know about you. Non-fishing related,
Non-fishing.
something that you have a passion for.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm big into my reptiles, my snakes.
Snakes, eh?
Do a lot of snake removals.
Snake removals.
Snake
Yeah, he's
removals,
removed the
uh,
house from,
A house
a
snake.
snake from my house. My wife, this thing is massive. Carl phones me, that was a house snake. It was about this big. The snake
so-
remover. If you need him, he's there. But you also
that's
bred
pretty professional.
mambas, am I right? Or breed mambas? Well, no, I mean, not intentionally, but I think you've shown me eggs from a mamba before.
So I do get on a call out if you catch a mamba, green or black, it could be gravid. If it is gravid meaning pregnant with eggs,
Oh, yeah.
we keep it, let it lay, drop its eggs, and then we'll hatch those babies out and then release them
I'm not
back
scared of
into
that thing,
the-
bro.
Hey, that thing comes out of the egg, and you look at it wrong, and it opens its mouth. You know.
And if that little thing bites you,
No. So you're obviously very careful. I don't. We you don't. You know. You don't handle for no reason.
yeah.
I mean.
But I mean, okay, for the people out there, maybe the foreigners or the overseas viewers, a black or green mamba is our most venomous snake. Am I right?
Definitely. Yeah.
And if a
one of them. Yeah.
And if a black mamba bites you, you got how long?
So it just depends on the. I have had a dry bite from one on the leg. Actually swung around and tagged me on the leg, and did the whole medical thing, rushed to hospital, and no symptoms. But a full envenomation, within a few minutes, you'll start feeling symptoms. You know, tingling hands.
And someone can die within an hour and a half.
Untreated, you can die quite quickly, half an hour. Just depends who you are.
And how
you know.
it bit you, maybe.
Yeah,
how much
there's
venom?
so many factors. We've had a death recently with one of the snakes.
No, the guy was that the guy in Marisburg, the well-known snake handler.
Hillcrest.
Hillcrest.
Yeah. So he got bitten and he went straight into anaphylaxis and
He's in coma for a wee while.
pretty much
So that's it.
coma,
I mean,
yeah.
that's the kind of snakes this man's dealing with. Right? Is it
yeah,
not
so
no
um,
pet snakes that you keep in your house?
yeah. So
But I mean, I must be honest. You've often come to my office with a snake or something. You've shown it to me like you're like a proud dad, bro. Those things, and I look at that thing and I should outside, China. I don't want to check that thing again.
yeah, no, I enjoy my reptiles.
Yeah, and you work for Sharka Marine World,
Yeah.
looking after the reptiles,
reptiles, yes, yeah.
the snakes and the lizards and
Yeah,
the.
yeah.
What do you call those things? Legavons and what's that
Yeah,
big
monitor
thing
lizards.
that you used to have at that one door? That massive.
Probably an iguana.
Yeah, a big iguana. Yeah.
And then monitor lizards. Yeah, at
Yeah.
the moment we've got some big black-throated monitor lizards.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's an interesting
Yeah.
fact about Carlos. It's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, good
And your
luck.
rivalry with your fishing buddies, like Rob, Brad back in the day.
Yeah, Rob was a big one. We had
Rob, we
that-
had a big rivalry.
we had that bit of a dogger comp going on there.
With the, was it a 50 or 100 rand note, and you used to write on the corner?
Yeah. I think that was Rob had that. I wouldn't have.
He kept it in his wallet.
Yeah, right. That was Rob. That wasn't. Yeah. He. But I never ever saw that money, even though I probably won. Yeah.
You never saw that, but you're still
I never saw
waiting,
it.
eh?
Yeah, I'm still waiting
So Rob,
for
pay
it,
your
yeah.
debts, bro. You owe me money because I'm positive Carl caught more
Yeah,
dog
no, I
than me.
definitely did. Yeah.
Definitely did.
100%. Yeah.
But I mean, so still today, like, you don't really fish for dogger much anymore, or do you?
I don't at all.
Don't at all. Eh?
Not
I mean,
at all,
I mean, back then you loved it. I mean, it was
Yeah.
was your winter thing.
Yeah.
Though fishing's evolved
Yeah.
from then.
Yeah, I must say, I do kind of miss that whole KP,
Yeah.
that bite is like, kunk, kunk, you know, that just
Yeah.
the way you're
Adam's favourite way, tough fishing, as he says.
Yeah. It's, it is awesome fishing. And then you get the GTs with it. And I mean,
The bycatch, a GT is a
yeah.
bycatch.
I mean, I got on the Schloms barge, I got a 24 kilo cuda fishing for dargo.
Okay.
And I thought it was a bonnie. So I just straight stick that thing thinking, hey, you come here, you know.
How's the knuckles after that? They're still there.
So yeah, we used to get. It's funny enough that Schloms barge is actually quite an amazing.
Doesn't Mhlanga Barges produce some amazing fish over the years?
Saley's egg.
I'll bring you a memory now. One of the last Umschlote ski boat comps.
When we used to do the paddle ski comps at
The
at
paddle
the
ski
club,
comp.
yeah,
So
yeah.
the original Umschlote ski boat comp. I am pretty sure that you fished the barge and paddled back to Umschlote.
Yes, I did.
You caught a proper GT
I caught a GT.
and the taxman ate it.
No, that was. I remember that. I did catch a GT on that. I actually caught 2.
Yeah.
Back then, also we kept it.
Yeah.
It was,
I mean,
that was. They didn't. There was
Yeah,
no.
you didn't really. There was no release.
They didn't exclude them from the comp.
Yeah.
And
A fish was a fish in the
yeah,
comp.
yeah.
And so so you got the one and the one got eaten. But you didn't win the
Yeah.
comp with that fish, did you?
No, not nearly.
Did you ever win that Umschlote comp?
I never did. No. You know what actually happened the one year? You remember Rory Nicholson?
Yeah.
So Rory and I were paddling back from Seabell in the comp, and we were like the last oaks in. At the shark nets, Rory went on, and he got the winning fish. That was, I think, when Rob came second, and
Yes.
everyone had caught.
Rory
Benny.
beat Rob in that comp,
Yeah.
yes.
Do you remember Benny?
Benny. Yeah, I mean, we're talking
yeah.
some proper legends now.
Yeah.
For the viewers out there that don't know, I still, to be honest, class Rory Nicholson, Guy Nicholson. You're in this class, I'm going to be honest, John.
Yeah.
So Rory, Guy, Brian Taylor, those are like the real kayak fishing legends. Those are the guys that, when everyone else was starting, who'd been fishing, like yourself, had been fishing for 3-4 years already.
Yeah.
You know, Rory could puzzle a fish. Guy, even Mike Hutch.
Mike Hutch,
Hutch's still around. He fishes on the boat a lot.
Yeah.
But I mean, that was the core group of guys that were fishing a lot.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and they caught fish and they caught kuda and.
Yeah.
I was very friendly with Guy Nicholson at the time. Guy actually helped me develop some of the first stealth kayaks. Not a lot of people know that. But Rory was fishing on Eric's, and Guy, his brother, was working with me, helping me develop, because I understood the paddling, he understood the fishing.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting fact for you.
No,
But
so Guy, I don't know where Guy is now. I'd love to know.
Guy still lives in Bolito, Salt Rock.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rory lives in Australia.
Yes,
just outside
I
Brisbane.
had a chat to him the other day. So Guy was with me when I caught my first Sailey.
Okay.
And back then too, Sailies were also,
Man.
you didn't let that thing go.
You didn't let anything go.
That thing came back and the whole gang
beach was
like,
there.
Oh, God, got a Sailey today.
Yeah.
It was like a big thing, you know.
Yeah.
And it was the weirdest thing. And then after that, obviously never ever kept them again. But,
You only keep one.
I just kept the one.
No, I'm just saying that's
Yeah,
for everyone.
He was with me there when I got that set. He sort of helped me land it and boat it, the whole guy. But Brian Taylor, funny enough, sent me a photo of myself and him on the beach, and I'm showing you with a whole lot of kuta. And I
Is
was.
that the photo I sent you, Dick? I've seen that photo.
Did you see how thin I was?
Bro.
I was 65 kilos. Yeah.
Someone says you look like, what was it? You've come out of like you've been stuck in a concentration camp. Did you eat?
Yeah, I couldn't gain weight there.
In all respect, I mean, Brad probably looked like that too. And you look anorexic next to Brad now.
Yeah.
Brad?
No.
Sorry, Brad. We had to be honest.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we've touched on a few things. It's definitely something I'm missing to ask you. I have to check on my list. Your most useful piece of tackle in the kayak, how's that? Out of anything, like whether it's a specific reel or a specific rod or something over the years that you've sort of always relied on.
So I think I would say the reel, and we always used to use those TLD 2040s. Those were like
Shimano 2040, bro.
Yeah, those were the.
Take out the bearings, put in a bush.
Yeah, that's it. And that was the go-to.
How many
thing.
years did you fish with that reel?
Years and years. And then what changed me was Rob Waite went double up on the tuna one day, and they were big fish, and he just said, "Hey, please take this in," and he had saltigas.
Of course he did.
And that's,
I mean,
Rob was
of course
raw
he did.
line.
It's like lead shooter. Like if you had a 4,000 rand reel, lead shooter had the 8,000 rand reel.
Yeah, same with Rob.
Because you know what we used to call lead, eh?
No.
Fig jam.
Yeah.
Fig jam.
Okay.
For those who don't know, fig jam. You know fig jam? Fig jam. I'm good. Just ask me. So that's lead. What was his other nickname on his surname? this shooter, so it was lead shooter. But we did add something in front of the shooter. What was that? Rob did. I'm sure Rob added it. We used to call them the bull shooter.
I'm not going to get involved in this.
He's not taking the bait.
He'll put a hits on me that
because 2040. So 2040 was what? You would have then also used originally the good old Kingfisher broomstick, as we call it.
Yes.
Solid glass rod, eh?
Yeah.
Now that's another one, like a memory.
Yeah. But then from that 2040, the minute I touched that Saltiga was like, so that's when I got the Saltus, the Dawa Saltus, and just the crank and everything was just, so that's pretty much what I fished for quite, it started with the black and golds, and now I've got the blue and black Saltus. Probably the best reel you can use on a ski with regards to just wear and tear, you know, because on a ski...
Which is important, Carl, because I think a lot of people will just walk into a tackle shop and buy a reel.
Yeah.
And they'll say, I'm kayak fishing, and the tackle salesman will sell them, will buy this. But I mean, let's be honest, 99% of those salesmen have never been on a kayak.
Yeah.
So like you say, it's, that lasts on a kayak.
Yeah. No, so it does, and
so Nick, we need a photo of that on the video, okay? We need a photo of his reel so people can see what he's talking about.
Yeah, I think that's
because it's legit. It's a valid point. I mean, that's what we're here talking about, things that make a difference.
Yeah.
And you can spend 10, 15 grand on tackle, and it can be not the right stuff. So it's take the time to know what works on a kayak, and not just any old tackle.
And you know what? Another thing is having a rod with a rod with a butt that is slightly longer.
Yeah.
Keeps that reel off the water.
So I think when you say that, a lot of the overseas places do have really long butts.
Yeah.
And they go like, but we obviously are used to a very short butt.
Yes.
Okay, so it's like it's longer than what we used to, but still shorter than what the overseas people are used to. Because I've had a lot of guys say, oh, my butt's so long, or it doesn't fit in the rod holder, and we say like trim it off, and they say you can't shorten it. So like we're actually used to it being slightly shorter. So I know what you're saying.
Yeah, and that definitely helps with regards to wear and tear and just salt and going. You know, because you're constantly paddling, and when the sea starts getting rough, it's coming over.
Yeah. I mean, you're a person that fished for maybe 25 years without a fish finder.
Yes,
That's like you watched everybody else move to fish finders, but I suppose you were so used to not using a finder.
And I tell you right now, if I don't have a fish finder now, hey, I feel lost. I actually don't want to fish. So I've definitely changed.
So you've now moved over to the I need my technology.
Yeah. Maybe more than I've had it for longer than 5 years. But I can't do it.
Probably is, but it feels like 5 years.
No, I can't do without a finder.
Can't do without it.
And I see a lot of oaks just you go on with a fish, you look down, 13 meters. Okay, so you stick to that line. It just makes sense, you know. There's a point that you've just raised. That it's another. See, we're using Carl's knowledge here, China. Learning to use the fish finder to see the depth that the fish are at. Yeah, it's not even about structure or anything. It's just okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
you can use it to your advantage.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I spear too. The sea's been so terrible. So I don't know what's going on with that coast. We just don't get clean water anymore.
No. That's why I say the last time you saw clean water was when you fished in the 80s.
So I mean, I know from spearing, you'll find those cuda on a line, and they'll keep coming through on that line, you know, and 20 meters up, they won't be there. You know, it's just finding your lines and
finding the depths. So using things to your advantage.
Yeah, for sure.
Which is, as you talked about, the right reel, using your finder.
Yeah.
So a man of great knowledge today, Mr. Paul. You know. But I mean, there is honestly not guys who fished for 29 years, right? Oh.
Yeah, no, it's been short. It's been okay. I did give
you
it.
You had to have a little hiatus, a few years where you didn't fish.
I did. Yeah,
was that what time when you were starting to be, or sort of say, you were trying to become a plumber as an apprentice?
I did actually become a plumber, but I
didn't quite finish. Though.
I did not finish.
Did you finish?
Qualified, yeah.
So the story about you that did all these years as an appy, and then the first cuda that jumped out in summer at Schloms, and you threw all your tools and just said, "I'm out, I'm done."
Well,
And went fishing for kuda.
yeah, something
that
like
true?
that. Something like that.
Something
yeah.
like that, eh?
The guy that I was actually doing my apprenticeship through, old Richard Firth.
Yes,
you know Rich?
well, yeah.
He actually would send me on fishing trips with his mates to show them how to fish on their ski boats and that.
Okay.
So even
So you
though
could get more work for plumbing.
So while I was doing my apprenticeship, he gave me a couple of jobs to guide, do some guiding there, which was quite cool.
Oh, there we go.
But no, I did quite. The whole actually aim of that was to immigrate.
Okay.
And I just couldn't leave. I love this
There's
place.
too many nice fish and just too much
it's good.
nice
We
lifestyle.
have a good lifestyle here, and we've got our problems, but I think everyone does.
Yeah.
And
Make the best of where you are.
100%. Yeah. I'm going nowhere. I love this place.
So you're here for good, eh?
Yeah. Well, it's too late now.
So you're going to come to Mozambique with me ever?
I will. Yeah.
That's a promise.
I'd like
eh?
to. Yeah.
Okay, so that's a promise. On that one, we'll end this because we literally will go on all night.
Yeah.
But it's been
Cool.
freaking awesome having
Thanks,
you here.
Brett. Yeah. Thank
Lots
you.
of good stories and some good, useful information from Mr. Cole. Like I said, 29 years. Remember that? 29 years of experience.
That's a long time, man. Yeah. Are you going to put that pic up? I hope not.
Which
eh?
one?
That one.
You're definitely going to
like
post that pic of you when you look like you come out of a concentration camp.
Yeah.
Maybe a few other pics that we might have found through the years.
Yeah.
So, but it's been good to have you. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks, Brett.
It's been awesome.
Enjoy it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sam. Cheers.